So I'd hope to have a second video about the court cards by now, and you may have noticed I haven't. Partly it's because I'm extremely lucky that I'm still working full-time as a shaman and a tarot reader, because all of my appointments can simply be moved onto Skype. So partly it's that my workload hasn't decreased, for which I am extremely grateful. But it's also partly because, like everyone else, I am living in a mild state of trauma as a result of the pandemic. Whether you are working ridiculously hard as a key worker, whether you are vulnerable, whether you're in lockdown, in some way, I believe all of us, as a result of the pandemic, are in a state of trauma. And trauma creates 4 coping strategies, which I will briefly run through using cards as examples. And they are usually considered to be freeze, flight, fight, and fawn. So freeze, and I'm now talking very specifically about the pandemic. I am not talking about post-traumatic stress disorder as a generalized thing. But very simply, freeze is lots of people, even people that aren't working or that are on lockdown, are just feeling more lethargic. It takes longer to process things. It's, as a symptom, it's about feeling more exhausted than your workload would warrant. There is a slowness, a heaviness, a lethargy. That's because your body may well be flooded with stress hormones. It's because your mind may be hyper alert, because even though logically you may feel safe, hopefully, your mind is aware that there is a threat there, sort of on a biological level. So it does create this lethargy, this freeze. It takes longer to do simple things. And I've definitely noticed this for me. The tasks that I would have done really quickly are just taking me longer. And I've just learned to accept that. Flight is an interesting one, running away from the situation. We can't do that. That is not an option. So what I've seen this in myself and in clients is people get super busy. Okay, it's like, well, if you can't run away from your problems, I'm just going to be so busy that I can't even think about them. Myself, this has manifested in decorating rooms, which has been quite nice. It might be crafting, it might be tidying, but it's just that sense that if I keep busy, then I won't have to worry or think about the situation. So being busy helps us to feel more in control. Of course, the over busyness, and this was definitely something I sunk into, can then lead to even more exhaustion and lethargy. So I found I was decorating rooms in the evening instead of relaxing, as a way of, escaping the situation, which lent to more exhaustion. So if you find that you are busying yourself in tasks that you've always wanted to do, or mundane tasks, over tidying, over cleaning, painting, decorating, it's just your mind's way of staying calm. And I think it replaces the flight aspect. Fight, well, domestic abuse is through the roof, not surprising, but in a more everyday situation, simply it means that you will overreact, and that might be with anger or tears, to smaller triggers. So your trigger is much lower. You may overreact if someone says they don't like the dinner. You may overreact if there's road rage, whatever, but you'll find that tears or anger come more quickly to smaller stimuli. That is the fight. And the last one is fawn. Now, I was very tempted to go for Queen of Pentacles for this, but I did go for the Nine of Wands. To fawn is to people please. I've definitely been doing this. It's like if I prepare really hard and try and please everyone in my life, then I will feel better about it. So there is a slight, like I say, I was tempted with the Queen of Pentacles, and then I just saw this and it caught my eye. There is an element that a feeling that if we work really hard at being super organised, super efficient, one step ahead of the game, meeting everyone else's needs, then we will feel more secure in our own needs. And I realised how much I was doing this when my kids asked me the other day if they could have just pasta and a sauce. And I realised I've been cooking like really fancy meals every day as a way of sort of trying to be in more control of my situation, because I think that's what every one of us is feeling right now. It's a little bit out of control. So I hope that helps. I will definitely be trying to stick to my schedule of releasing 2 videos a week, but I hope that you'll be a little bit gentle with me if, like most people, I'm struggling a little bit with mild trauma symptoms.